Hi, my name is Govind Raj. I am the author of this book, Managing Labor Relations. The first idea was to help the professionals and also the students in managing labor relations based on practical exposure. When I looked at the literature available on this topic, especially, I could not find any book, based on practical approaches and experience. There are books available which are more of a legal jurisprudence, case laws, and literatures. But to find a book on practical exposure and practical experience based insights were very less. Then I decided, let me make an effort so that from the last 20 years, whatever I gained, I will put it into writing so that it is of more benefit to the coming professionals and also the students and the current professionals who are in the field. If you look at today's HR profession, basically there are not more takers for industrial relations. If you look at IR, less focused and also less people who opt for it. Either they are pushed or the situations made them to handle certain IR situations. I had few seniors and also some of advisors to do it. But however, most of the times you have to be on your own. When I was on my own, I always wondered there are better ways to handle. If you look at basically based on human factors and people management approach, in the entire career of last 20 years, I had very stressful situations and very difficult problems. Each problem was very unique, and each situation was highly challenging. uh, I always gave it a thought before I went on to solve the problem. I looked at why such conflicts happens, why such situations arise. Then looked at basically at the human factors, and based on the common sense, I understood the basics, and wherever I had to plug the levers, those levers I plugged it and involved people wherever it was required, and I was able to quite successful in solving most of the problems to the satisfaction of the company. And so these experiences comes mainly on experience. These are not available in the literature. Moreover, if you look at this book, I wanted to give an entire framework on industrial relations. See, if you don't understand the legal framework on this topic, it is very difficult for you to proceed. So first and foremost is what is the law on this topic. So I tried to cover as brief as possible, and then I went on to explain about collective bargaining and also the settlement process, how the settlement happens, and if you have to handle basic industrial relations, what are the basics you need to know, and if you have to handle effectively, what kind of strategies and techniques you have to adapt. So based on my experience, I have provided many strategies where a professional can use and be successful. And another important factor is many professionals either may know or may not know is suit for injunction. This is also one of the weapon or the tool in the hands of employer, how to use this. And I also went on to explain the different stakeholders of industrial relations, that is basically external union leaders. So these external union leaders play a very important role in industrial relations. If we do not know how to handle them professionally, then we will get into troubles. So that's very important. And then I also talked about the role played by legal advisors and inside the shop floor managers, how the shop floor managers play a role in managing the industrial relations. I also gave a little brief of mediation and conciliation. Another important topic is the preparedness and contingency plan. See, this one is, whatever the relationships you maintain may be cordial or your relationships are good, the boys are in your hands, um, maybe yes, but the situations will not be the same always. So anytime a turbulent time might come. So it is important that you understand these dynamics and prepare the company and you yourself so that you can handle any such situation comes. So based on my experience, I try to put all the elements of contingency plan, how you can better be prepared to handle and also take care of the company's interest and also the employees' interest. Then another important point is managing troubled intervals. See, this is one of the toughest situation in any industry can come. If these dynamics are not known, if the stressful situations are not handled properly and the pressure tactics are not known, the counter effects are not known, then it is difficult for any professional to handle any troubled intervals. The company can fail, the HR professionals can fail. So I try to give lot of situations and also in that situation what an action can be taken from the company to counter such pressure tactics. Then I also gave IR challenges in multi-union workplace. Also I talked about labor disputes and industrial relations. In my experience I handled many disputes and most of the disputes I could close it amicably. It's not because that I wanted to close the case. It's because if you proceed legally and in the courts, it takes a lot of time, money, efforts, and other things. To avoid, there are better ways. If you really plan well and then understand why such disputes happens, then probably you can find a solution. Another important topic is today the contract laborers are also getting united and they are also voicing their demands. It is the time for all professionals and employers that they are being taken care properly and also the required precautions are taken care. So if you look at the entire industry market, there are companies also run without the unions. How that was possible? Then I was wondering. I also worked for some companies where there were no unions. Then I came to know their workforce models are actually doing their job. They have a beautiful workforce model which is keeping the union away. So I try to picture all, take into consideration all these workforce model and give an insight about it. Then coming back to industrial relations and human factors. In industrial relations, human factors play a very vital role, and most of the issues, most of the problems are based on lack of understanding of human factors. If we understand the human factors, especially the maturity of the people, of the parties, play a vital role in better industrial relations. I try to put these facts and also why conflict arises, and I also try to give if you know the fact behind the conflict, then what is the approach which can neutralize that conflict. So I have tried to be very detailed in human factors chapter. If this book will not be complete if I don't give anything on disciplinary procedure and domestic inquiry. It is necessary. It is always not that the industry can run without having any issues. Indiscipline may arise, and all your human factors and flexibility approach should not lead to compromise on the discipline. So in this chapter I tried to give a brief about the disciplinary procedure, of course in a flowchart manner, and I talked about domestic inquiry and the importance of charge sheet to help the professionals to understand more about it. Another important chapter is IR problems and solutions. I selected a few important stressful situations and conflicts and also important problems where I was successful in solving to a better satisfaction. I narrated these stories of my career experience, and I also gave how to handle such situations. Of course, at the last, we have the final thoughts. The final thoughts will give out, important thoughts on a final note.